In 3 months' time, Boko Haram and all the issues around security in the northern part of Nigeria, like he said, would be reduced significantly. I would want to hold him to that. We know we've heard this promise before, sometime I think last year with regards to it ending, I think sometime around June. And things seem to have even gotten worse after that. But if he said it this time in front of the whole world, maybe we should listen to him and see how things go in the next 3 months. So that was one of them. And of course, the second one is Rivers State is still in the news a lot. And we heard that there was the honorable member who is the Mesa, like we like to say, the man who hits, like we also saw in the video, his colleague in the House, Honorable Chidi Lloyd, is wanted for attempted murder. And he's nowhere to be found. He's wanted and nobody seems to know where he is. The man who he hits is recovering in hospital, thankfully, and he's been visited by both factions of the PDP in Rivers State. The governor has been there. The Minister of State for Education has been there, who is allegedly on the other side of things in the state. And they've all said collectively that Honorable Chidi Lloyd must be found and must be made to face the music. And that's very good to hear, because it means that, he's not going to go scot-free whenever he's found. Hopefully that happens soon enough, and a lot of this gets to be put to an end. But I think the most important thing that happened during the past week was there was a lot of noise from the Senate about a section of the Constitution that was supposed to be amended that eventually wasn't amended. Honorable Senator Sani Yerima from Zamfara State led the 30-something or so members who stood down the amendments of Section 29, subsection 2B, or something, 4B, yes. And it was supposed to deal with citizenship and who had the right to citizenship. But in a lot of that, a lot of confusion was created as to whether it was promoting marriage for children or whether it was promoting pedophilia and all of that. But the most important thing there that came to me, I think I saw a tweet from Tolu Ogunlesi on Twitter, and I think it's very important because what he said there was that there are about 12 Nigerian states today that still haven't passed the Child Rights Act a decade after. Those are some of the issues that we need to be talking about. Why are states not passing this bill? Because nothing in the Constitution says anything about the legal age of marriage. And the Child Rights Act and acts along those lines are what are supposed to deal with issues like this. But as it is today, 12 states, as we say, have still not passed it. And until we have at least a majority of states who have passed it, then and only then can it become law. So we need to find out what those states are and why they have issues with passing this law. Unfortunately, a lot of the leaders, Mr. President, for one, has not said anything about the entire controversy. Most of our leaders haven't. But a tweet jumped at me from the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. He said, "I had earlier stated my personal choices on child marriage. I have always supported our women and children. I strongly support strengthening the Constitution to protect citizens from abuse, men, women, boys, or girls." And I think that's the one line that everybody needs to be united in. Whatever the case is, the most important thing that we need to focus on is the fact that children need to be protected, regardless of their sex, regardless of their gender. And most importantly, we need to do this as soon as possible, because we can't be in 2013 and still talking about Child Rights Act. It's taking too long. We're going to have a very interesting show for you today. As we all know, the ASU strike is still on, and we'll have some distinguished panelists in the house who are going to be talking about the issues and how we're going to be tackling them. And of course, at the end of the show, or towards the end of the show, of course, I have a very interesting guest. I know a lot of the ladies who would like to see. He says he wants your waists. We'll find out about that right after this.
Bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the Hypo treatment for only 10 naira to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
Hypo. Every day as they happen, opinions arise.
I lost money in Africa. Sanusi said he couldn't care about the shareholders. Is that possible?
For and against, they have to be heard.
The government of this dispensation has made a very strong commitment. Yet, bomb keeps going on every day.
People are dying, and we are talking grammar.
Unfiltered.
You are the worst advertisement of the product you are trying to pitch.
Uninhibited.
People are contravening and contradicting traffic rules.
And issues are laid bare.
This is what is called in psychology narcissism. Is worse than megalomania.
And the weight decided by you. Face Off, Wednesdays 8 to 9 p.m. only on Channels Television.
Say, hey, hey, hey. Let's go. So let's dance now. It is my turn now. Just want you. I am ready for your action now. Just want you. You should cut off all distractions. It's all on you now. And just give me.
Welcome back. As you may have noticed, even if you're not a student in Nigeria, that for at least almost a month now, students across Nigerian universities have been at home. ASUU strike is on again. And we need to find out what the issues are and why our children are still at home and when they are planning on going back. We have two people in the house with me today who are going to be talking on that. Right beside me here is Comrade Mojirade Hassan, Student Union President, Lagos State University.
Good afternoon, sir.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And Dr. Ogenekaru Ugminaka, ASUU Chair, University of Lagos.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much for being here with me today. Mojirade, what is the problem? Why are you at home? Or why did they tell you to go home?
Oh, we are home because ASUU has gone on strike, and that's because the federal government has refused to meet the demands of ASUU. From time past, I think 2009, ASUU and the federal government signed an MOU, and up to date, the MOU has not come into place, and that's why we're on strike. That's why we're home. That's why ASUU is striking.
Okay, doctor, now, what are these demands?
It's basically one demand: implementation of the 2009 federal government ASUU agreement. And this agreement is not only with ASUU, but across the unions. Now, I think what you may ask is that what is the content of the agreement? Even though the federal government will want to make it look as if it is insatiable demand, it is something that both parties agreed on over a period of 2 years, discussing and meeting our various principles. Now, the federal government have not shown sincerity in implementing the demands, the agreement. Clearly, it's not a new agreement. It is only a renegotiated agreement. The first agreement was signed in 2001. That was due for renegotiation, and it was signed. Another one was reached in 2011. It has to do with the quantum of fund that will be injected into the various universities to bring them back to where they were. Nigeria had some of the best universities in the Commonwealth before the military, and it was all destroyed. It has to do with providing assistance for state universities. It has to do with condition of service of academics in order to address the issue of brain drain, both external and internal. And it has to do with changing some laws to be in harmony and conform with university autonomy and academic freedom. I will tell you that although majority of the students are out because of ASUU strike, in a place like Uyo, it was closed down because of students' unrest. Okay. And why did they go on rest? The vice chancellor charged fees, and the students felt it's an illegal fee, so to say, because the university does not have the autonomy to charge fees. And so it is clearly the vice chancellor's charge and illegal fees. And I've not seen a parent that will say, you students, shut up, go back to school, we can pay. You understand? And so sometimes it's unfortunate that people want to push it to ASUU. Why don't you allow students to pay fees? But the question of ASUU always will reply is that, look, why don't you grant the university autonomy and academic freedom so that they can admit the number of students they want to admit, they can employ the number of academics they want to employ, and they can run the universities with some leverage of independence. You saw how NUSU came down and clamped down on outstation campuses of various universities that they were using for IGRO, how NUSU came up with a very harsh policy on distant learning programs of universities and all that. You can't find that abroad. NUSU should have just contented itself with quality control.
So what is the government saying? It's been 3 weeks now. What is the government saying?
From what we've monitored, really, they've held some meetings. Along the line, I think that there's going to be a meeting point.
And how much of this is a funding issue? Are they talking about the fact that there's no money to meet a lot of